Hello guys, thank you for watching my video, and this is my first time to post a video on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy it and find it really beneficial. Since I was a kid, I'm really interested in disaster films. I watched my first disaster movie, The Day After Tomorrow, in 2004. I've been really passionate about climate change. And as we all know that carbon dioxide is one of the main factors that affects the climate. So this is the topic, and this is the research I'm doing right now. I went to the US Energy Information Administration website. Guys, you can see the link here. I post a link here. If any one of you is interested in the database, just go to the website and download the database. Here, we see that there are 6 countries which are mainly responsible for the climate change. China, of course, India, Russia, Germany, Japan, and also the United States. And there are different sources to produce carbon dioxide: gas, liquid, solid, like coal. Yeah, that's what indicator name means. And also, we have the records from 1960 to 2011. Now, let me show you the database too. There's not much difference between 1 and 2. The only difference is that because of the graph, because of making the graphs to do the comparisons, I and I've used the, instead of putting the years under column C, I put years in row number 1. For database 3, here I make an assumption. I want to understand the relationship between GDP growth rate and carbon dioxide emissions. Here we use pivot table to help her to analyze those database. We have pivot table 1 to 3. Pivot table 1 was when 1.1 were formed by database 1, 2 were formed by 2, 3 of course were formed by 3. And we can see here that there are lots of data, lots of numbers. Numbers sometimes confuse us, and in order to take one step further, help us to understand, analyze those data, we have to use the chart. As you can see under dashboard, for the first row, there are 2 charts that helps you to understand the comparisons among those countries. As we can see here that after 2005, China has become the biggest country that produces carbon dioxide. And should it be responsible for the carbon dioxide emission? Maybe. We'll see. And in the source, that we can see that basically main carbon dioxide emissions are from solid fuel consumptions. Now, since that we can use the slicer to control these 2 charts. For example, if we want to make a comparison between China and Japan, just click China, control Japan. Then we can see that. And I want to know the source liquid. Okay, so you can see this is like the total liquid, a total carbon dioxide emission from liquid from both China and Japan, and this is the comparison. Let me show you this next chart. These 2 pie charts indicates the percentage of the countries. As you can see here that, of course, these 6 countries are mainly responsible for carbon dioxide emission. And especially China. China has the biggest amount. In 2011, the total percentage of carbon dioxide emissions was almost like almost one sixth of the global total carbon dioxide emission. But is it really responsible for the climate change? I'll tell you the answer later. Now, this is the chart I really want to emphasize on. The relationship between carbon dioxide emissions and GDP growth rate. The orange line indicates the GDP growth rate, green lines representing the carbon dioxide emission per person per year, and the green bar means the carbon dioxide emissions total amount. Now, let's take Japan as an example. Japan, since 1990s, its economy doesn't really do well, so it has around 0% GDP growth rate. So was its CO2 emission. It has a really stable green line and stable green bar. Let's see China. China, from 1990s, it has a really high growth rate. It's always above 10% of GDP growth rate. And meanwhile, you can see that this carbon dioxide emissions has grown really fast. So in conclusions, that GDP growth rate really has a positive relationship with carbon dioxide emissions. Let me show you the source map. This map is really clear. It's really clear that tells us that the carbon dioxide emissions from different sources, from coal, from crude oil, or from gas. And you can see here, I know that China produces lots of coal, so no wonder that it consumes lots of coals. The last one is a dynamic chart. It's a bubble chart. And X value indicates the personal consumptions of carbon dioxide. The unit is metric tons per person per year. Y value is the GDP growth rate. And the size of the bubble means the total amount of GDP. Total amount of carbon dioxide emissions. Let me show you. As we can see here that United States really, Americans really produce lots of carbon dioxide per person. And in 2000, from 2000, China has become bigger in total amount. So, is China really responsible for this? Probably part of it, but I'll have to say that Americans should also take the other part of the responsibility. Because of the advanced technology, we produce lots of carbon dioxide. We should choose more environmental friendly technology or products, because we only have one Earth. We have to learn how to protect it. So this is my conclusion. I hope this video can be really beneficial and help you understand how to protect the environment, the importance of protecting the environment. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching this video.